So what is my name?
Jeannine
Yes.
Eddleton.
Yes. Well, a lot of people, I get Jenny.
Jenny.
No, do you notice I had the Southwest Virginia twang to it? Jenny.
I don't want to sound rude in saying it.
Oh, I know, but it's people make assumptions all the time. I always ask people their name, like, how would you please pronounce that for me? Because my name is never said properly.
So how should I say your name?
Jeannine. No, you did it. You did it fine.
Okay.
Yeah, but you've also got an inside track.
That's true. I wouldn't have been.
Yeah.
Well, you introduced yourself as Jeannine as well.
I do.
So
Yeah.
when we shook hands,
gotcha.
I took note of that because I was going to ask.
Okay.
But.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
On Hokie Talk this morning, Jeannine Eddleton. She's a senior instructor in the Department of Chemistry here at Virginia Tech. Jeannine, thank you for being here with me.
It's my pleasure to be here with you, Aziz.
So, how long have you been teaching?
Gosh. So I have been at Virginia Tech. So it's a loaded question.
Okay.
I've been here at Virginia Tech. I came in 82, fall of 82, freshman, engineer. Epic fail. Failed 5-hour calc. Oh my gosh, who knew? And then I changed my major to chemistry, graduated in 86 in the summer.
Interesting.
Right, because I co-opted and didn't pay attention to like graduation requirements. Anyway, and then I had my exit interview. What are you going to do? I have no idea. What do I do now? First gen student, no clue. No clue what college was even a thing. Mm-hmm. You should do that. Okay. Anyway, so I took a little lab job as the lecture demonstrator in the chemistry department as my first job, making $16,000 a year. And so I started working in the department. I became a high school teacher.
Oh,
soon thereafter. No, at Northside in Roanoke.
Oh, okay.
Because I went to Cave Spring first. They had an emergency need for a long-term sub. Me please. And then I went to Northside. Anyway, so then it was only then that I decided to be a teacher because I still had no clue. And I was doing the little lab job, enjoying it immensely.
This was all just like while figuring out what you wanted to do.
Figuring out what you wanted to do was a modern construct. Just doing stuff is how my mindset has always been. Fortunately, my spouse and I have always kind of had that same mindset. So we just we work really hard, but we just kind of go with it and look for opportunities. And I don't know, this dude mentioned this other thing, and what about this? And big plan? No, both first gen, like you graduate from high school, get a job. That's all we'd ever seen at home. So college was still this very new thing. Anyway, so
where did you grow up?
I grew up in Baltimore, Maryland.
Baltimore, cool. Okay.
Baltimore, Maryland. So in the late 70s, 1980s, so the steel industry taking a nosedive, right? Steel going overseas. Everybody's losing their job, including my dad. Just absolute disaster.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, absolute disaster. And, but hardworking.
Yeah.
So then I did that little lab job, started taking classes for my master's degree in chemistry because you can tuition waive credits. I have the longest transcript in Virginia Tech history. I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, you can scroll, and it's like, oh okay. So I started doing this in 80. I started back to grad school part-time in 91. And at that point, knew I wanted to be a teacher, didn't have an advanced degree, had returned from teaching high school chemistry because teaching high school is hard.
Really?
Because you guys are little shits, right? And I loved it, but I was like, oh my God, this is going to kill me.
Well, it's our first time ever looking at chemistry too.
Exactly.
In high school.
But I mean, high school is complicated business, right? And so it's so painful. I've told my kids this my own kids this over the years. Teaching high school and watching the pain manifest is so emotionally taxing that I was like, I got invited to come back to Virginia Tech.
Wow.
And I took the advantage. I took advantage of that opportunity because I was like, I'm not going to have to work as hard. Frankly, I don't think anybody works harder than public school teachers.
Really?
As far as the burdens they shoulder of society and education and you name it, whatever's happening at home.
That's crazy. And there's a whole conversation to be had about pay in high school and pay and...
Oh my gosh. Now, if I'd stayed in high school, I'd be making more money than I make now.
Really?
Yes, because I'm just an instructor. I'm not a research, faculty, tenure track, anything like that. Anyway, so I finished my master's degree part-time. I had 2 kids by that point. And our then department chair, Rich Gandor, love that guy. Hopefully he listens. He's still working here at Tech. He's on his way to retirement. But anyway, he was like, we have this little class. It's called Chemistry 1015, Chemistry 1016. And how about give it a try? And I was like, perfect. Thank you. And he gave me my first opportunity
really cool.
to teach.
Wow.
And really because we didn't have any faculty that were interested and invested and wanting to take that on. And it needed some renovation, so to speak. Okay. Of course, I've taken it way out there.
What do you like about the class?
The variety of people that are in it. It's all non-majors, not even meaning non-chem majors, but it's non-science people. Mm-hmm. The most sciencey people we get are like BIT, gotcha. Architect types that have some skills, maybe some quantitative skills, but don't have to take chemistry for a requirement. Anyway, I have been doing that ever since. So it was 98 that he gave me this opportunity. So I graduated with my master's in 97. So cool. And then I started working on my PhD part-time. And that took a while. After I started doing chemistry research, I quit because I found that enterprise I found myself horribly unfit for that kind of activity.
Was it not interesting?
It's fascinating, but my husband was like, could you do something other than cry when you come home from work? Because I was very unhappy doing it, frustrated. I didn't have a cohort. It's weird when you're a part-time student. Had kids, like, why am I doing this? If it wasn't fulfilling me, I wasn't going to continue. It's the same way with undergrads.
What do you mean?
You guys need to think whatever you're doing is groovy. That's when it goes best. When your academics are groovy, that's when it goes the best.
But what if you don't know what you want to do? It's hard to sort of, like you were saying, like you want to always be doing something. You cannot be doing nothing.
Right. Don't hate it. If you're struggling to engage, if you're like, oh, this is okay, whatever, yeah, I can keep going with this, or, oh, this is really interesting, even though it's outside my major, okay, go with that. But if you're struggling and really unmotivated, I think that's an indication.
Do you see students in your class
all
who
the
are struggling, unmotivated?
All the time.
Do you ever reach out to them and say,
yeah, sure. Hey, what's up with your test grades? Or why haven't you handed anything in? Not Ethan.
Oh, okay.
And you're probably not like that, Aziz. But why have you not handed anything in? Like, you're off the radar. Like, these things were due. They're not that hard. I'm just asking you to engage in academics and with your peers. That's really my goal in the 10-15 class, is to get at least the people that are up for that to engage with whatever subject matter I throw out there. Anyway, so I've been teaching for a long time. But then I've taken on the first year experience class. This is a blast.
What have you learned from teaching?
Oh my gosh. I learn something new every day, at least 10 things. Like, I'm amazed at what you're doing here. Like, this isn't extracurricular for you.
Right, yes.
This is just totally self-motivated stuff.
Right, yeah.
That's amazing.
Well, it comes with what's cool about it is Virginia Tech, at least, is very supportive of it. It facilitates, like, booking rooms in the library to record, or renting out equipment, or renting out a facility, or making it a club, or applying for funds. What's cool about that is it facilitates it. But yeah, at the end of the day, it is self-motivated.
Well, I just went to the bars.
Yeah.
Right? So like, and for real, now my dad is a musician. He was always a part-time musician, hardworking brickyard person. But on the weekends, since he was a child, playing in bands, okay, for money, gigging for money. And without that, wouldn't have been able to support our family.
Wow.
So like having an 8-piece band practice in your basement for the entirety of your childhood is kind of crazy, but it is for real. And then every other night of the week, listening to the sax or the clarinet or the accordion or the flute or the piano or whatever he was practicing, or writing arrangements, taking phone calls to book stuff. So what I did for fun, what was most familiar to me, and it's really only in retrospect, it's when I started assigning essays to my chem students talking about their relationship to some of the topics that we talk about in general in class. That's where I was comfortable. Where was I comfortable? Going to see a live band. If the janitors were playing, I was there. I don't care what was going on the next morning. OChem test, AChem test, formal lab report due. I was at South Main Cafe.
Wow.
Where the janitors were.
Did you ever play any instruments?
No, never really did.
What's cool here too, I've been going out to a couple of live performances they have around here. John Kabongo for one, he's huge.
I need to catch that guy.
He's an incredible rapper.
Where have you, Milk Parlor?
Milk Parlor has some. VT Spark, it's a club here. They organized their Rocktoberfest concert, and he performed there. This other guy, Sean Stroud, he was also on the podcast. He performed there.
Okay.
Patty Carver Band did. A lot of local student bands who are, they're fun.
I need
they're
to,
cool.
like, is there a website?
There's an Instagram. I don't know about a website. Are you not on
I
Instagram?
have an Instagram. My kids created it for me. I never post anything. My husband, who is a gardener, has an Instagram. It's so hard to keep up.
Well,
I know that sounds old. I'm old.
It's the way I keep up, personally.
Right.
Or the only way I keep up.
So the way I kept up, and I still have them, right? Flyers on the wall. Right? Paper flyers on the wall. I still have a stack of them.
Oh, yeah?
In my, keepsake box of things I'll keep forever. That's what we call them at my house, keep forever boxes.
See, now with the flyers, they just put them on Instagram and don't actually print them out.
I know.
So you have to be
I
on
love
Instagram.
paper.
Yeah.
I love crooked printing on paper and like weird pasted stuff, right? Instagram is rather aesthetically pleasing for my taste.
Too
aesthetic. It's like, wait a minute, this flyer is balanced. What happened here? And then
That's
somebody
an interesting take.
somebody hurriedly should write down the location because they forgot to put that on the flyer. Anyway, so that's what I did.
That's cool.
I don't know, we're off topic.
I want to
now.
hit you with a deep question.
Yeah,
now.
deep question.
Are we alone in the universe?
Are we alone in the universe? So the ancient alien theorists say no, and I know this because I keep mentioning my spouse. He's a fervent watcher of ancient alien theory. I don't think we're alone in the universe. I think that's statistically impossible for us to be alone because the universe is a complicated place. I actually wrote in my dissertation, put across the idea of the multiverse, wherein each intersection, that our universe is a specific three-dimensional location of space and time, but that statistically speaking, it's impossible that it's the only. It is perfect, in quote, air quotes, it's the perfect location for humans to thrive.
Yeah.
But that's
statistically, if there's like billions of other.
Yes, like what about the other
number is.
possibilities? And then I think about campus being, so when I teach about quantum theory and quantum addresses, right? So this is like a chemically relevant thing. I love this. So quantum theory is like individual mailboxes, or I liken it to dorm rooms, or individual beds in dorm rooms, in dorms, on this campus, in this state, in this country, on this continent, and so on and so forth.
Right.
So I think that's just one. That's not a unique example. That's the way I think that's the way life is organized.
Yeah, we could talk about our own individual relevance now.
So So I think that there are as many different possible awesome combinations of place, time, people, organisms, biology, ideas, hardware, microphones, as you can even imagine. So that's why I do not think that we are alone in the universe. I think other alternate life forms that we don't recognize surely exist.
Among us, perhaps. Well, because I like to think also that if there were other life forms in the universe, one of them would have found us by now.
How do we know that they haven't? I guess that's what I would come back with.
We would have seen them.
What advantage would that give them to have been seen?
I don't know.
Maybe they're taking from us already in some way that we just don't understand.
Maybe the carbon dioxide is just some outside being.
I don't know. Maybe they're listening to this conversation.
I bet. Yeah, I bet.
Right? Like, who's out there other than Jonathan Kamongo on the other side of the wall? Jonathan, are you listening? So no, really, like, so interactions are happening on this campus that you have no notion of.
That's true.
No recognition of. I feel the same way about myself. Like my colleagues are doing things that just blow my mind. Never occurred to me, but I guess I'm old enough and confident enough right now to think that I have a reason to be here as well. Do you know what I mean? That I used to find that really intimidating.
Finding a reason?
Yeah, like that I am not, and part of that is being a first gen educated person, that I am not worthy. I'm at an R1 university. How dare I teach at an R1 university with a D1 athletic program, right? This is kind of big time.
Yeah, it is.
Like, how in the world?
It is.
Right? My dad brought home from the Brickyard a piece of paper, a Virginia Tech application that was like, we should fill this out. Oh, okay. No essay. Awesome.
You didn't write an essay?
There was no essay.
Oh, there was no essay.
There was no essay. Excellent. We can do that one fast.
Wow.
Who wants to write essays? I mean, I do now, but I didn't then. Like, what will I write about? I didn't realize how relevant that my experience possibly was.
Why have you stayed in Blacksburg?
We got stuck here. So back to the spouse thing. So I graduated in 86, but my spouse, who should have graduated in 85, didn't. Dropped out of school, got a little job. We were just doing our thing. Got married in 87, like without a plan. Can you even imagine? Do you guys think that way?
I haven't thought about marriage yet. That's just so abstract to me. I guess I haven't even come close to thinking
Like, do you have a significant other?
No.
Really?
Not even.
Really? Do you? No significant other?
No.
And so, I don't know why. Like, why did I have it? There was ring dance. I asked him to ring dance.
Oh, yeah?
In the bookstore.
Wow.
Yeah, in the university bookstore. Anyway, so he didn't graduate. I didn't think he'd ever graduate. But he was working here at Tech. I did my thing in Roanoke, high school teaching. But then I came back to Tech, and then life just proceeded. He did eventually graduate in 91.
That's awesome.
And we went to Burris Hall. I'll record this for posterity, Craig. We had to ransom his diploma from the parking services, paying all the fines, and library, paying all the fines, go to the bursar, give them your money, and then went to the registrar and collected a diploma.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's
one
cool.
way of doing graduation. Right? And then we handed I brought our camera with us, because it was pre-phone, and said, hey, can you take a picture of us? And we got a graduation picture. He wore a suit to go pick up the diploma.
That's so cool. I know that with marriages now, you can pay for the Hokie Bird to show up to your wedding.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in a tuxedo.
Oh my gosh. Do they have a special costume?
Yeah, they do. I don't know if they put it on or if they have another separate uniform with the
Right, that it's already sewn on.
Yeah, it's already sewn on.
Exactly. So the Hokie Bird came to my house one time.
What?
Yeah, Hokie Bird came to my house because twice I've known who the Hokie Bird was.
Can you share? Well, I guess people
How?
know now.
Yeah, well, one of them, this guy used to bring this big, looked like a body bag to class.
Oh.
And I
So we
would
have to look out for body bags.
Yeah, and I'd be like, what is that? And he sat in the front, and I ended up in a conversation with him one time because I'm big on voting, and I told my students that they should vote. Well, then and he missed class on a test day
Ooh.
to go home and vote in West Virginia. And so we ended up in this rather heated conversation. And then I was like, by the way, what's in your bag? And it was his Hokie Bird
And he cracked?
costume. He cracked.
Wow.
I never told a soul. Never told a soul. One time it was a graduate student who was in one of my graduate classes.
With the feet on at graduation, is that what it was?
No, she was in a graduate class, and she had been a Hokie Bird, and she had access to the old Hokie Bird suits, and she came to my house and played with my kids.
Aw, that's so cute.
And we took pictures
Aw.
when they were all little.
I was on the Hokie Bird Reddit one day. It was this Reddit page, and this former Hokie Bird was answering all the Hokie Bird questions people had about the bird,
Yeah.
and it was like, people were like, how do you apply? How do you do it? What is it? So I feel pretty informed on it now, but it's basically, you have to reach out to the athletics department and basically beg them.
So
to be the
there's
Hokie
no
Bird.
pipeline.
No, because they want people who really, really want to do
Yeah.
it, who are looking to do it.
That's perfect.
They have auditions where they make you do the Hokie Bird dance or the
Right.
Hokie Pokey.
Right.
And I feel like I'm spoiling this whole thing, but it's online, so it's already out there.
Yeah.
And they have I think they have 2 or 3 per class, per graduation class. And they'll I know at football games, they'll swap out. So first half, you'll have one person in the suit, and second half, you'll have another person.
Is it their escort?
I think it is.
Really?
I think it is the escort.
That just occurred to me.
Yeah, I think because there's always an escort with the Hokie Bird, and I think they might switch.
Because you never know.
So we have to look out for them.
Sometimes people get to be, little rabble-rousers, drunk rabble-rousers at the football game. They got to protect the Hokie Bird. My husband was actually a mascot costume person at King's Dominion for money back in the day. And I've known a Baltimore Oriole mascot, and I knew the Nittany Lion at one point. It's like there's a calling to that mascot business. Those people mean business. Yeah, they'll forego careers.
Wow, it's
in
hot
order
in those
to be,
suits, though.
It's hot in those suits.
It's hot in this room too.
Yeah, it's so hot in this room. Oh my gosh.
I have one last deep question for you.
Are we doing? Is this adequate?
Yes.
Are you going to be able to get something out of this?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, that's good. But let's make something out of this too.
Sure.
Can we live forever?
No, and who the heck wants to? I don't. I do not want to. I think
There's no chemical way to enhance our bodies to beat death.
No.
Aren't there?
I don't think we ever beat death.
There's one species that's immortal.
Is
there?
One
super small, tiny species.
Well, there's the cockroaches, right? And the
Are they immortal? No, they're not.
No, but their species as a species has survived since I don't know what level of prehistory, where cockroaches and other dinosaurs like birds are dinosaurs. But no, so I have had personal experience nursing people to death, meaning caretaking to the moment of death. And I think I think we try to prolong it. I think we think we're immortal, but at a certain point, we are mere humans. And it's our time to swoop down and do something and interact with each other. And then it's our time to go. And time for new ideas to come along.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't want to live forever.
You don't think it's worth it either?
No,
Okay.
I don't even think it's a worthy pursuit.
What about medicine? Is medicine worth it?
That's interesting. So
once you're I don't want to call out numbers, but 90 years old. And
I've seen some 90-year-old people that are in amazing shape, and if they're still going for it and enjoying life, I think that's fine. Otherwise, no thank you.
Yeah.
No thank you. I've had my children. I don't want to die today. just so you understand. I don't think everybody, I don't think we should, I think people can decide when they should die. I've known some people that know they want to die but haven't not been permitted that dignity. And I think my daughter actually is a nurse right now, and she has had some first-hand experience and has described then to us. So I've only gotten the second-hand.
Okay.
The things people do wrong at death.
What do they do wrong?
Oh, families trying to preserve their relatives, and they won't just let them go. Like, there's a time for this to end. I think there's a time for this to end with dignity, and we're just mere humans, right? Why? Who am I? Who are you?
Here we go. I don't.
You're awesome, but like
you're awesome too.
At a certain point, I've done
fine.
my thing, and I should hit the road.
It's the jellyfish Turritopsis.
Jellyfish turritopsis.
It's the biologically immortal jellyfish.
What does that mean?
It doesn't die.
They revert to an earlier stage of their life cycle. I just had a kid after my Gen Chem class yesterday, physics major. He comes up and he like loiters sometimes after class, but he's not like that kid. You know what I mean? Because sometimes that gets creepy. It's not like that. But he was like, "You really seem to enjoy doing this." And I said, and yesterday, of course, was weird because of the threat on campus.
Right.
Early, very few people were in class. But as somebody who's been around tech for a long time, through really horrible stuff and through really cool stuff, so I come to work every day with a little bit of trepidation and joy, both, right? Because I'm aware of how troubled some of our students are, and then how awesome our students are at the same time. So we were talking about that, and I was like, he said, "Would you want to go back to being a college student?" Like, I just got this question yesterday, and I was like, hell no. Like, would I go back?
Hold on. What about the glory days?
I know. I didn't have any glory days. Really? Unless you count like being at 117 South Main Cafe during the final set of some, The Kind or Electric Woodshed, or The Janitors were my favorite.
I gotcha.
Pure joy.
I gotcha.
Pure joy. I would go back and relive that evening, no problem, but I can kind of do that in a concert hall.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, there are still concerts going on.
There are still concerts,
yeah.
So I'm going to have to go see Mr. Kabongo here at the Milk Parlor next time he's there. But I wouldn't go back. I wouldn't want to do what this jellyfish guy does, because then you're like, no, that's not the way it was supposed to be. Like, I've made mistakes, for sure. I've made mistakes.
Ooh, do you have any regrets?
No. However, that's only because over the past recent couple of years, I've had to do some serious deep thinking about things, and it's another conversation to go deeper than that.
It's a whole mindset, I think.
Yeah, regrets, maybe about individual situations, sure, but
long run, no.
No, I don't think long run. No, I think that might be me placing too much importance. Do you know what I mean? Like, of what consequence was I?
Someone asked me that question like a week ago, and I couldn't come up with anything, just because I've made mistakes and there are things that didn't go the way I wanted them to short term. But long term, I see how it's shaped the way I live now, and I wouldn't go back and change it, because I'm not afraid of what else could have happened, but I'm happy with what did happen. I'm content with where I am now. I
said that very thing to the physics kid. I was like, but he was like, you wouldn't go back to being younger? And I'm like, well, I wouldn't. I would love not to be losing my hair. Oh my gosh. Understatement. But would I go back? No. I'm happy where I am. For warts and all.
Right.
Warts and all, I'm happy where I am.
Right. I mean, just yesterday, I was also going to add on, I waited too long with this one opportunity, and I lost it. So there's this one research opportunity for next semester that I lost, which is unfortunate. But hopefully long term, it ends up being okay. And I have faith that it will.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
You can
It's
only
over now.
time only goes in one direction.
That's true.
Right.
Not for the jellyfish, but for the rest
Physics.
of us.
Well, I don't know what physics would have to say about the jellyfish Turritopsis.
Yeah, we have to look into this
Like
jellyfish.
time
some more.
only goes in one direction. We've never disproven that to my knowledge. It's a stink bug. Like,
no.
how immortal are stink bugs? I don't know.
As a species, maybe not. So
I
immortal.
know.
This is the guy. This is the one I was thinking of earlier. This is what
Oh,
it
that's
looks like.
awful looking.
It's some tiny micro. I forget what it's called. Hold on. I hope we can find the name here.
Oh, that's disgusting.
This is the most indestructible species, the tardigrade. That's what it's called. But yeah, they're
So
practically immortal.
humans are meant to be destructible.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're too armored, I don't know, is that a good thing?
I don't know.
Right? If you're not impacted by your surroundings,
True.
what's the point?
So maybe humans are the perfect species. There's definitely, that's a good way of looking at it. There's a good light.
Well, I don't know if it's a good way. I don't know.
You can see it as a good way. This tardigrade lives for thousands of years, so it's not immortal, but they probably just float around, in some
Right.
random streams.
And so if
just
you're
doing
only
nothing.
ever observing, but not getting a chance to interact, for
Right.
better and for worse.
Right. Plus, as far as we know, humans are at the top of the whatever.
Except for the
life
ancient
scale.
alien people.
Except for the
that-
aliens, yeah. Well, as far
Right.
as we know, I wonder if like lions think they're at the top, or if
I don't know.
cockroaches think they're at the top.
Maybe it's
Or
it's
ants
a
think they're at
joke.
the top.
Ants. I was gonna.
Yeah.
It's the ants, and they're laughing
the
at us.
ants.
They're like, stupid humans. Yeah, we're stupid humans.
Janine,
We
thank
don't
you
do-
so much.
It's been my pleasure.
Actually, I want to ask one more thing. Is there any
Aziz?
last thing you want to say?
No,
before we wrap
I'm
up?
not good at wrapping
All
up
right.
like that. It's been a professional and personal pleasure
Thank
meeting
you so much. I appreciate you being on so much.
Yeah.